Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5. Does anyone remember what we are reading now? Okay, so we are reading now.
Hare Krishna,
It's
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We read about the fifth Manu and the sixth Manu, and then we saw that how Lord came as Vaikuntha in the fifth Manu, and then um, the mother requested him to create Vaikuntha. Lord Lakshmi Devi requested him to create Vaikuntha, and we know that Supreme Lord created Vaikuntha, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that we hear that Vaikuntha was created, but still it's spiritual. Though it existed in the material world, but it's still spiritual and nothing is material about it. And then we also read about the sixth Manu, Chakshashu Manu.
Chakshusha.
Chakshusha. Chakshusha. Chakshu. Chakshush. Chakshush Manu. And his son Chakshu, and then
Chakshusha Manu, yeah.
Chakshusha Manu. And then Prabhupada also mentioned that Sukadev Goswami says that the Lord activities are glorious and his qualities are unlimited. And Varadev appeared 2 times in this. Like they mentioned that the Varadev, the Swayambhuva Manu and the Revata Manu. And then there was this controversy that some say that only 1 time he appeared, and some say that he appeared 1 time and he remained there for the long period. So it doesn't matter. So Lord can do anything. His qualities are inconceivable. He's inconceivable and unlimited. So anything is possible for him.
Yeah, some say that he was appeared in reign of Swayambhuva Manu as well as in the reign of Revat Manu. Some say that he appeared in Swayambhuva Manu's reign and stayed inside the water and came out in the time of Revat Manu. Yeah. That's how the Lord's qualities are unlimited. So then we are hearing that the Lord, he incarnated as Ajita in the reign of Chakshusha Manu. And then he took the form of the tortoise for the churning of the ocean. So then Parikshit Maharaj wants to know more in detail about the churning of the ocean. And he's being congratulated by Sukadev Goswami for his eagerness, for his enthusiasm to hear more and more about Bhagavatam. So that brings us to today's verse. Nisham ye tat suragana
Nisham yeta shuragana
Mahendra varunadaya
Mahendra Varunadaya
Nadaya gachan swayam mantre
Nadaya Kanchan Swan Mantre
mantrayanto vinishchitam
Mantrayanto Vinishchitam
Tato brahma sabham jagmur
Tato Brahma
Brahmasabham Chakmo
Meror murdani sarvashaha
Merur Murdhani Sharvashaha
Sarvam Vigyapayam Chakru
Sarvam Vidyapam Chakru
Pran Pranata Parameshthine.
Pranata Paramesthine.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Indra, Varuna, and the other demigods, seeing their lives in such a state, consulted among themselves, but they could not find any solution. Then all the demigods assembled and went together to the peak of Sumeru mountain. There, in the assembly of Lord Brahma, they fell down to offer Lord Brahma their obeisances, and then they informed him of all the incidents that had taken place. So the demigods were cursed by Durvasa Muni that they are going to become poor because Lord Indra became puffed up. Durvasa Muni offered him his garland, and Indra, is a bit prideful because of his position. So instead of honoring the garland, he gave it to his elephant. The elephant doesn't know much what to do with it, so he trampled it on the ground with his feet. Durvasa Muni got upset and cursed them to become poor, and then the demons fought with the demigods, and then the demigods lost everything. The demons were very powerful that time, and also by the curse of Durvasa, they lost everything, and so now they've come to Lord Brahma to seek his help. So they went to Sumeru mountain, and now they are asking to Lord Brahma. Sa Vilokyendra Vayavadin
Savilokendra
Indra Adi
Nihesatvan Vigata Prabhan
Nisatvan
Swam
Vigata
Vigate Prabha
Prabhan
Lokan Amangala Prayan
Lokan
Lokan
Amangala
Amangala
Prayan
Praya
Asuran Ayatha Vibhuhu
Asuran
Asura
Ayatha
Ayatha
Vibhu
Vibhu
Samahitena Manasa
Samahitena Manasa
Samsmaran Purusham Param
Samsaram
Samsmaran
Purusham
Purusham Param
Param
Vachotfula Vadano
Uvacha Utpula
Uvatatpulo
Vadanu
Vadano
Devansa Bhagavan Paraha.
Devansa
Devansa
Para
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Paraha
Para
Upon seeing that the demigods were bereft of all influence and strength, and that the three worlds were consequently devoid of auspiciousness, and upon seeing that the demigods were in an awkward position, whereas all the demons were flourishing, Lord Brahma, who is above all the demigods and who is most powerful, concentrated his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, being encouraged, he became bright-faced and spoke to the demigods as follows. After hearing from the demigods the real situation, Lord Brahma was very much concerned because the demons were unnecessarily so powerful. When demons become powerful, the entire world is placed in an awkward position because demons are simply interested in their own sense gratification and not in the welfare of the world. Demigods or devotees, however, are concerned with the welfare of all living beings. So this is the difference. That's why Krishna likes the world to be ruled by demigods, because Krishna wants that everyone should be taken care of. But the demons are unable to take care of others. And that's why Krishna wants the the demigods to rule, the devotees to rule, like he wanted Yudhishthir to rule the world so that everyone could be taken well care of. Srila Rupa Goswami, for example, left his ministership and went to Vrindavan for the benefit of the entire world. Lokanam hitakarino. This is the nature of a saintly person or demigod. Even impersonalists think of the welfare of all people. Thus, Brahma was very much concerned at seeing the demons in power. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Aham bhavo yam atho suradayo
Aham bhavo
Yam
yamato
atho surad
asurayo
manusyatiryagrumagha majatayah.
yatu
manushyatirya gyadruma
jatah
jayatah
Yasyavataram shakala visarjita
yasya
yasya
avtara
amsa
amshakala visarjita
Rajama sarve sharanam tam avyayam.
braja
व्रजाम सर्वे
sarve
शरणं तम
tam
अव्ययम्.
avayam.
Lord Brahma said, I, Lord Shiva, all of you demigods, the demons, the living entities born of perspiration, the living beings born of eggs, the trees and plants sprouting from the earth, and the living entities born from embryos, all come from the Supreme Lord, from his incarnation of Rajogun, Lord Brahma, the Guna avatar, and from the great sages, rishis, who are part of me. Let us therefore go to the Supreme Lord and take shelter of his lotus feet. Some creatures are born from embryos, some from perspiration, and some from seeds. In this way, all living entities emanate from the Guna avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ultimately, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the shelter of all living entities. So, living entities born from seeds. Which kind of living entities are born from seeds?
Fruits or something?
Anyone? Yeah, the
Fruits,
trees, the
tree,
plants.
right?
Yeah,
Plants, yeah.
yeah, yeah. The trees, the plants, they're born from seeds. Perspiration,
Bacteria.
bacteria, yeah. And then embryos,
We all.
yeah. The human beings, the animals, they're coming from embryos. So then Lord Brahma is creating all of them. Lord Brahma is the Lord of passion. And Lord Brahma is being created by Krishna. So ultimately, Krishna is the shelter of all living entities. The soul is coming from Krishna. Lord Brahma is giving different bodies to the different living entities. The soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Lord Brahma does not create the soul. So ultimately, Lord Krishna is the shelter, the Lord of all living entities. Na yasya vadyo na cha rakshaniyo
न यस्य वध्यो न च रक्षणीयो
nopekshaniya pakshaha
नोपेक्षणीया आदरणीया पक्षः
tathapi sarga sthiti samyamartham
तदापि सर्गा स्थितिसंयम अर्थम्
tate rajasatvatamasi kale.
धते रजसत्वतमांसि काले.
For the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no one to be killed, no one to be protected, no one to be neglected, and no one to be worshipped. Nonetheless, for the sake of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, according to time, he accepts different forms as incarnations, either in the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, or the mode of ignorance. This verse explains that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal to everyone. This is confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 9.29. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dveshosti na priha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapi aham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service to me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Although the Lord is impartial, He gives special attention to His devotees. So the Lord is impartial. He's equal. Each and every living entity belongs to Krishna. Each and every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. Demons, demigods, plants, animals, human beings, everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. If one is a devotee, then Krishna gives him special attention. Therefore, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. The Lord has nothing to do with anyone's protection or destruction, but for the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world. He apparently has to act either in goodness, in passion, or in darkness. So, creation, maintenance, and annihilation. That's how we have Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva to carry on these affairs of this material world. Actually, however, he is unaffected by these modes of material nature. So, Lord Vishnu, although he is in charge of the mode of goodness, doesn't mean that he's controlled by this material goodness. No, he does not come under the control of the modes. He is the supreme lord of everyone. As a king sometimes punishes or rewards someone to maintain law and order, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although having nothing to do with the activities of this material world, sometimes appears as various incarnations according to the time, place, and object. So Krishna doesn't have to come. He still comes. Yeah. He's not forced to come. Because we desire to be here in the material world, then we have our karma, and we are bound by the modes of nature. So we are forced to act in a certain way. Then we are put into different bodies to suffer or enjoy the reactions of our karma. But for Krishna, no, he's coming out of his own free will. He doesn't need to come, but he's coming out of his own free will, just as a president out of his own free will is visiting the prison just to see how the prisoners are doing. Ayam chatasya sthiti palana shanaha
Ayam च तस्य स्थितिपालनाशनः
Sattvam Jushanasya Bhavaya Dehinam.
सत्त्वं जुषाणस्य भवाय देहिनाम्
Tasmad Vrijama Sharanam Jagat Guru.
तस्माद्वृजामं शरणं जगद्गुरु
Swanam Sanodhasyati Sam Sura Priyaha.
स्वानां सनोधास्यतिशं सुरप्रियः.
Now is the time to invoke the mode of goodness of the living entities who have accepted material bodies. The mode of goodness is meant to establish the Supreme Lord's rule, which will maintain the existence of the creation. Therefore, this is the opportune moment to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he is naturally very kind and dear to the demigods, he will certainly bestow good fortune upon us. The material world is conducted by the three modes of nature, namely Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. By Rajogun, everything material is created. By Sattva Gun, everything material is maintained properly. And by Tamogun, when the creation is improperly situated, everything is destroyed. From this verse, we can understand the situation of Kali Yuga, through which we are now passing. Just before the beginning of Kali Yuga, or in other words, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna appeared and left his instructions in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in which he asked all living entities to surrender unto him. Since the beginning of Kali Yuga, however, people have practically been unable to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. And therefore, after some 5,000 years, Krishna came again as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to teach the entire world how to surrender unto him, unto Sri Krishna, and thus be purified. So 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. And the essence of Bhagavad Gita is surrender to me, Krishna is saying. Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma sucha. Krishna is saying in chapter 18, text 66 of Bhagavad Gita, just surrender unto me. So then came Kali Yuga, now we are in Kali Yuga, but people forgot how to surrender. People didn't know how to surrender. So 500 years ago, Krishna came again himself as Lord Chaitanya to teach us how to surrender to Krishna. He's coming as a devotee to show us how to surrender. Surrendering unto the lotus feet of Krishna means achieving complete purification. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 1866, Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma shucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Thus, as soon as one surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, one certainly becomes free from all contamination. So when one surrenders unto Krishna, Krishna takes charge of our sinful reactions. Krishna takes away all our karma. Krishna is saying, do not fear, I will deliver you from all the karma. So one becomes free of all this karma when one surrenders to Krishna. Kali Yuga is full of contamination. This is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, chapter 3, text 51. Kalir doshe nidhe rajan, asti eko mahan guna, kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajit. This age of Kali is full of unlimited faults. Indeed, it is just like an ocean of faults, dosha nidhi. But there is one chance, one opportunity. Kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vajet. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga, and in his original spiritual body can return home back to Godhead. This is the opportunity of Kali Yuga. So many faults in Kali Yuga. We are short-lived, we are quarrelsome, we are unlucky, unfortunate. We have very short lives. We are lazy, misguided. So these are all the faults of Kali Yuga. But there is one great benediction of Kali Yuga, and that is the Hare Krishna mantra. By chanting Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, we can go back home, back to Godhead. When Krishna appeared, he gave his orders, and when Krishna himself appeared as a devotee as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed us the path by which to cross the ocean of Kali Yuga. That is the path of the Hare Krishna movement. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he ushered in the era for the Sankirtana movement. It is also said that for 10,000 years this era will continue. This means that simply by accepting the Sankirtana movement and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga will be delivered. So Lord Chaitanya appeared 500 years ago. And he inaugurated the Sankirtana movement. So, and this golden period is supposed to last for 10,000 years of the Sankirtana movement, out of which 500 years have already been passed. So of the 10,000 years. And so we are urged to take up the chanting of the holy name, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and perfect our life in this life. Go back home, back to Godhead. After 10,000 years, then there will be no chanting of the Lord's names, because then Kali Yuga will be at, we would see the ill effects of Kali Yuga more and more. There would be very, very few devotees left. Majority of the population will be impious. There will not be, no Sankirtana will be going on. Whatever few devotees are left, they would be chanting the names of the Lord in hiding. So we are encouraged to take the opportunity, a golden opportunity of this golden time, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. After the battle of Kurukshetra, at which Bhagavad Gita was spoken, Kali Yuga continues for 432,000 years, of which only 5,000 years have passed. Thus, there is still a balance of 427,000 years to come. Of these 427,000 years, the 10,000 years of the Sankirtana movement, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, provide the opportunity for the fallen souls of Kali Yuga to take to the Krishna consciousness movement, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and thus be delivered from the clutches of material existence and return home back to Godhead. Chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is potent always, but it is especially potent in this age of Kali. So always there has been chanting of the holy name. In every age there has been chanting of the holy name. It's always potent, but especially in this age, we are advised to chant. It is especially potent. What happened is, for example, before in Satyug there was meditation, and there was yagyas in Treta Yuga, the deity worship in Dwapar Yuga. So in those ages, all these practices were accompanied by chanting the holy name. You know, a person would do meditation and chant the holy name. Person would do yagyas and chant the holy name. Person would do deity worship and chant the holy name. But in this age, we are not able to do properly meditation or yagyas or deity worship. And so we are encouraged to chant the holy name to get out of this material world. Therefore, Sukadev Goswami, while instructing Maharaj Parikshit, stressed this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Kalir doshe nide rajan asti hi eko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajit. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. That it is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, Text 51. Those who have accepted the task of spreading the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in full Krishna consciousness should take this opportunity to deliver people very easily from the clutches of material existence. Our duty, therefore, is to follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preach the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world very sincerely. This is the best welfare activity for the peace and prosperity of human society. So, if we at all want to do welfare activities for others, then the best welfare activity is to give Krishna consciousness to everyone. Spread the Krishna consciousness movement. If we at all want to have a peaceful and a prosperous human society, then we need to spread this chanting of the holy name, the Sankirtana movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement consists of spreading Krishna Sankirtan, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Why is it so glorious? This has also been explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Cheto Darpana Marjana. By the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one's heart is cleansed. So why is so much importance given? Chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Why is Bhagavatam saying chant Hare Krishna? Lord Chaitanya is saying chant Hare Krishna. Why? What happens when one chants Hare Krishna? The first thing that happens is that our heart gets cleaned. The contamination which is there in our heart, that is cleansed. That's the first thing that happens when we chant Hare Krishna. We are thinking we are the body. When we chant Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, we will understand we are not the body but spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. The whole difficulty is that in this age of Kali, there is no sattva gun and no clearance of the heart. And therefore, people are making the mistake of identifying with their bodies. Even the big philosophers and scientists with whom we deal are practically all under the impression that they are their bodies. So Prabhupada is saying now his practical experience. The other day we were discussing a prominent philosopher, Thomas Huxley, who was proud of being an Englishman. This means that he was in the bodily conception of life. So one may be a big philosopher, but one is still thinking, I'm the body. But whereas our real identity is Jivera Swarubhai Krishnera Nityadas, we have to give up this identification with the material body. And that can be easily achieved by chanting Hare Krishna. Everywhere we find the same misunderstanding. As soon as one is in the bodily conception of life, one is nothing but an animal like a cat or a dog. Sa eva gokara. Thus, the most dangerous of the dirty things within our heart is this misidentification of the body as the self. So this is what we are thinking. We are thinking I'm the body. We are thinking we are our mind, our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions. We are thinking it's us, the soul. We are thinking this body is us. Oh, I have an injury here. I have pain here. So we are thinking this is me. It's very difficult for us to understand, oh, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. We get hurt, then we say, oh, I am so much in pain. Like it's like having a car accident without understanding, oh, it's the car which is damaged, not me. I'm the driver. I'm separate from the car. But we are misidentifying ourselves as the body because of the mind. The mind is telling us, oh, you are the body. False ego is telling us you're the body. So I am this body, I am an Englishman, I am an Indian, I'm an American, I'm Hindu, I am Muslim. This misconception is the strongest impediment and it must be removed. That is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita and of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, Bhagavad Gita begins with this instruction. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara. Tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namuyate. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. So in the very beginning, as soon as Krishna starts giving instructions to Arjuna, in the very beginning, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you're not the body, Arjuna, you are the soul. So this instruction is for us too, to understand that I am inside this body. Our body is keeping on changing, but not us. We are eternal. We are the soul. Before when we were born, our body was completely different than it is now. Then as a child, completely different than we were born and different than what is now. So we are actually a soul. Although the soul is within the body, nevertheless, because of misunderstanding and animal propensities, one accepts the body as the self. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. to cleanse the core of the heart, which is full of misunderstanding, is possible only through Sri Krishna Sankirtana. The leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement should very seriously take this opportunity to be kind to the fallen souls by delivering them from the misunderstanding of materialistic life. So this is the heart of a Vaishnava, the compassion of a Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada is most compassionate to us. And that's why he's imploring everyone to take up Krishna consciousness. And he is saying that those who are the leaders in Krishna consciousness movement should spread this chanting of the holy name so that everyone can be delivered. Everyone can go back home, back to Godhead. Everyone can revive their relationship with Krishna. So we can see the compassion here of Srila Prabhupada. One cannot be happy in any way within this material world, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Abrahma bhuvanaloka punar avartino Arjuna. So we are thinking we will find happiness in the material world, but Krishna is saying from the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. We are thinking, oh, if the situation changes, I will be completely blissful, completely happy. But anytime, anywhere, as long as we are in this material world, we cannot be truly happy because Krishna is saying it is a temporary place of misery. Therefore, not to speak of going to the moon, even if one is promoted to the highest planetary system, Brahmalok, there cannot be any happiness in this material world. If one actually wants happiness, one must go to the spiritual world. The material world is characterized by a struggle for existence, and survival of the fittest is a well known principle. But the poor souls of this material world do not know what is survival and who is fit. Survival does not mean that one should die. Survival means that one should not die, but should enjoy an everlastingly blissful life of knowledge. This is survival. So, survival of the fittest, Srila Prabhupada is explaining what the survival of the fittest means. Not to die, but to live eternally. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to make every person fit for survival. Indeed, it is meant to stop the struggle for existence. The Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita give definite directions on how to stop the struggle for existence and how to survive in eternal life. The Sankirtana movement, therefore, is a great opportunity. Simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one becomes completely purified. Thus, the struggle for existence ceases and one goes back home, back to Godhead. So, by hearing and chanting, what happens is our heart gets cleaned. The heart gets cleaned, automatically there is no struggle. And one can go back home, back to Godhead. Any comments, questions? It's a beautiful purport here by Srila Prabhupada. Full essence is given here. Anyone had any questions or any comments or anything to add? No? Okay. So you'll stop here then for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.